investigation approach is pretty simple. What we try to do is figure out what it is we already know about the person, who can tell us more, and then set out a plan to go and find that information. When we carefully reviewed the record, we discovered a whole list of people that we wanted to follow up on, people who we thought had the most information to give us about June Patti, and some obviously had higher priority than others. In mid-October of 2007, the supposed David Callender, you remember from day 11, Mark Fenn's imaginary investigator, sent an email to June Patti's sister. It was a very confrontational approach to what would have been a supremely cooperative witness. Despite his tactics, Patti's sister replied and gave her honest assessment of June Patti's veracity. Perhaps the worst part of this counterproductive approach was that even though Fenn was now in possession of very favorable evidence to support Susan's innocence, he never shared it with Suzy or the family. It was clear from a careful review of the entire trial record that June Patti had lived in Washington State long before she returned for a visit and ultimately spoke to Detective Wynn. So we thought it was prudent to contact Washington, the county in which she was in, and find out what they knew about her. So we called Skagit County sheriffs, and we asked for any information they might have about June Patti. When I spoke to the woman, she recognized the name immediately, and she said, "Oh, but she died in 2006." And it occurred, I just was baffled by how this woman would immediately know June Patti's name. But soon, it would not take very long before I understood her familiarity. I sent my open records request and was shocked to receive a response that indicated in the span of 10 years, from 1996 through 2006, the date of her death, June Patti had something approaching 2,000 contacts with law enforcement, whether it was as a defendant, a complainant, a witness, an informant. What's displaying on the screen is just a small fraction of those contacts. Well, we did have a few more questions, as it turned out. And we turned our attention to the Public Defender's Office because we thought that they may have crossed paths with June from time to time. And when we called, once again, there was immediate recognition and this time much laughter. They described a whole assortment of interesting encounters with June Patti and told me about a motion that the office had created called the June Patti motion, where that would be filed whenever June Patti had any involvement in the case, and often resulted in cases being dismissed because it was clearly understood by everyone involved with June what a consummate liar she really was. Well, we got lucky again. When we had John Smith's case, we had a great team over at the district attorney's office looking at it seriously. And this time, we had the same thing. A few new players, but the same level of integrity and attention to detail that is necessary to really get to the bottom of these innocence cases. Each of these men are to be commended. And when the Hablett unit went out to conduct their independent investigation, they easily confirmed the substance of the declaration we received from June Patti's sister. And beyond that, they discovered some critical new evidence to show that for many, many years, June Patti was known to be an unreliable witness among the various police departments. One such instance is represented here in this snippet from this police report. It was not at all surprising that June Patti had a record. What was surprising was that at the very time that she was professing to Detective Wynn that she had this wonderful relationship with her sister, June Patti was actually being prosecuted for a crime against her sister. And one of the conditions of her ultimate resolution to that case was that she not have any contact with her sister.